What do you think, Ranger? You ready to go and test out that new motor today? Like actually on the road, or we go for a little drive with you? I got the insurance on you. We're allowed to drive you around. But you know, before we go, we gotta give her a little safety check, because we were unbolting lots and lots of stuff doing that motor swap, including the front wheels and some engine mounting stuff. So we're gonna give you a little safety check, make sure no wheels are gonna be falling off on us. We're gonna let you idle in the driveway a little bit, warm up, and then we'll check your oil, check your coolant. Well, we'll probably just squeeze the hose. We'll look and make sure there's coolant before you warm up. We'll see. We'll do the checks on you though. That's what I'm saying. We're gonna give you a little bit of look you over, so we're nice and safe to go for a little roll around the block. Test out your 4-liter. See if that hydrolocking with oil actually did any damage, or if we're just clear to go here. Well, there was a couple things that we noticed there on our pre-road inspection, pre-driving inspection. Our front wheels, both of them, all the lug nuts were definitely still loose, which is because I had to take them on and off a couple times. I had to have them off so that I could get the engine bay, like the rad support, low enough that my cherry picker would lift the motor over top. So we had loose lug nuts, and then in here, these mounting plates on each side, your engine mounting plates, those guys were a little bit loose. Where's this one? This one's hard to see. Not very loose, only maybe like a quarter turn. I think that one in the front, way up there, that one I got a little bit more out of. But I had a feeling those ones would need a little bit more. From when I put them plates back on, the bolts didn't go in quite as smoothly as a lot of the others, so I just wanted to double check that. And by the way, if you're ever swapping one of these motors, if you take those out of there, you can lower your engine about 4 inches and reach your hand right in there super easy to undo your bell housing bolts, which I tightened all of mine before putting those in because I could get the easy access and move it around. So we got coolant in our radiator. It came popping right out of the cap. We have pressure in this hose now, so we know our thermostat's open. We have a little bit in the reservoir. It's right at the proper, actually it's above the cold fill level. We have a little bit of washer fluid. Looks like just a bird poop on there. Our alternator, the wire is nice and tight. Everything there should be good to go. All our clips around the motor plugged in well. Power steering is at the max level right here. The brake fluid, same at the max level there. And that's all the fluids for the truck. I guess we have transmission fluid. I should check that now that I think about it, since a little bit leaked out while we were having the bolts and the lines unbolted. So we'll give that a quick one right here on the go. Ooh, definitely lots in there. Let's give it a quick wipe with this dirty rag I found right there. Ooh, get her down there, get her down there. Get in. Wow, that's a tight spot for it. I wonder why they picked to put everything like that. Well, a piece of dirt came out, and I would say we're in between those dots. What does in between those dots mean? Do not add if in the hatches. Sorry, you cannot focus. There it is. Do not add if in the check when hot, idling in park. I guess it's cold, and we're in between the dots there. So I'm gonna let that go for our test drive here. Let's get in here and check the oil on this thing. I did an oil change just last week. Oh, she's full to the top. Yeah, that's because it was been splattering around in there. But for real, we got, let's grab her nice. Word, if you can see, it's hard to see, just over the top line a little bit. So that'll do fine. Maybe a half a liter or less high, so not too bad. Okay, here we go. We're gonna take her for the first drive since swapping that motor in there. So I'm a little bit nervous because it was hydrolocked with oil and I blew that starter off it. So I'm hoping for no bad failures, but we've done the best we can to prevent that by giving our little pre-check over there. And yeah, we're gonna see how it goes. So what we're gonna do, we're just gonna start off with going up the road here, just taking her easy, listen for noises, see what's weird. The exhaust there, that one, it's gonna be there because we got a pretty bad rear half of the exhaust anyways. We're gonna make sure the tranny shifts properly, make sure the steering's not shaking us all over. I'm just getting up to 70 kilometers an hour here. I think I probably have one more gear to go. Oh, there it is. So yeah, everything seems to feel alright. No pulling either way. No noises from the front. All the gauges are all where they belong. This is maybe medium throttle. Got some nice shifts there. I miss this old Ranger. It's been sitting in my driveway since what, the end of September, and it's the beginning of February. So been out there for a few months, 5 months I think that might be. Can correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, it's been sitting around, hasn't been driven in about 5 months. And this one's a really nice one, the FX4. It's the FX4 level 1, but it still has a 4-liter. It's got an automatic shifting transfer case. All of it works properly though. And the 410 gears and the limited slip, this one, when you floor it, it puts her down pretty good. Here we go, I'm gonna punch it. These Rangers, they're nice little trucks, small trucks, so you can't tow all that much. I think this one, and it's the way it's configured, it's a 5,000 pound tow rating, which for this little tiny truck, that's pretty good. I tow the car trailer around with, like, I've towed a Jeep with it. They're good for towing stuff like your snowmobile trailers or utility trailers, getting wood, load up the lumber on the trailer for projects. You can do quite a bit with the little truck, but I do have a bigger truck for actually towing if I'm going a distance. I'd use my 2018 F-150. It's just safer and more reliable with the load behind it like that. So I haven't noticed nothing to be worried about here on this drive so far. Yeah, going on, no hiccups here. It really picks up. You can feel the whole truck. Do one of those when you put it right to the floor like that. My other truck with the 4-liter overhead valve engine, it's nothing like that. I wish it could be more like this. It's got to have some more horses hidden in there somewhere. I know the engine light is on and it's reading lean, so there's improvement to be done over there. This one, I'm really hoping the engine light stays off and we can put the tuner on it and see what our options are. I don't know what the tuner does yet. I've never got an option to go and select anything. Ooh, we got some rattles there. In here we got some rattles. Nothing like what my Power Stroke F250 would be rattling like that one. It's a little scary how much it rattles on a road like this. Get back home, I'll give her another look over, check for anything dripping, anything odd. But all in all, this has been quite a good successful drive. And wow, that motor, hydrolocked with oil, and the starter, it snapped the case off the starter. First try, that was all I ever got, one try. And here we are, we're driving it. I don't notice any weird noises of a timing chain issue or anything like that so far. It's very possible same thing with these motors, but this truck has 342,000, and the motor that we put in had 167. So we got a much lower mileage motor. If we didn't do any damage to the crank, the connecting rods, any of that stuff from that hydrolock, we're in good standings here for a fairly reliable Ranger. And one of my favorite things about these Rangers is there's so many of them. There's people made aftermarket parts for all kinds of things, and they're not expensive, so it really opens the door for me to be able to do a little more on my Ranger. That's why I got two of these Rangers. I really like them. They're both totally different, so they got to be built up differently, taken care of differently. They got different rear ends in them. Both 410 gears, but this one is the torsion limited slip. I put that in there. That's what comes in a level 2 FX4. And then the other one has the regular style clutch pack limited slip that came out of this truck. It's now in that truck. And I have a 410 open diff rear end. It's in my lineup of differentials in the backyard. Tail whip in action. Good response from her. Good response, good shifting. Everything's smooth. Very much what we're looking for. I've been driving my other Ranger and I just went to reach for the stick shift. You ever do that when you drive your manual one all the time, then you get it in automatic and you find yourself stomping on the floor with your left foot and reaching for invisible shifter sticks? Happens to me all the time. Well, I got a little spin, not a whole lot, but that's just a rolling punch. I didn't reload her up with the brake pedal. We made her home. Nice riding, Ranger. That was a good one. I'm very happy with that test drive. There was some decent performance there. Didn't do nothing crazy, but a little bit of spinning the wheels in the gravel just a tiny bit. But yeah, good shifting, good steering. We did good, but when I backed in the driveway, I had one crunch. How did we miss that this guy was hanging behind the wheel in our pre-inspection and pre-driving check there? So we'll have to find a new one of those. But I am not very worried about that. That was a very good drive, good shifting. Good enough to give a guy some confidence in this truck when he's driving it around. Make that nervousness go away.